Welcome to the Growth Shift. I'm David Zilstra. Here's what I've learned after years in business. Every leader who's built something meaningful has a story, but the moment they had to shift, when failure forced innovation, when change became opportunity, when they chose growth over comfort. On this show, we dive into those pivotal moments, the setbacks that became breakthroughs, the strategic shifts that accelerated growth, and the frameworks that turn obstacles into opportunities. Because here's the truth. In a world where change is the only constant, the leaders who thrive aren't the ones who avoid failure. They're the ones who've learned to shift strategically through it. So whether you're facing your own pivot point or just want to learn from someone who's been there, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Joining us today is Doug Frederick, CEO of HealthCues, an innovative healthcare solutions provider that offers preventative healthcare to employees with a special focus on the blue-collar sector. With a unique approach that benefits both employers and employees through tax savings and increased take-home pay, HealthCues is revolutionizing how preventative healthcare is delivered. Doug also brings extensive leadership experience as CEO of Blue Ocean Capital Management. Doug, welcome to the show.
Pleasure, David. Glad to be here.
Now, when you first started HealthCues, there was a little bit of a funny situation you told me about. I mean, you were getting into a market where people believed your product was just too good to be true. So you had a hard time starting off because your product was just too good. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, even today, the product was brand new. A lot of people hadn't seen it, and a lot of people were, how come my broker hasn't brought this to me? And it was just really hard. Most people hadn't heard it. And even today, if I don't hear this sounds too good to be true, I know the person didn't listen to me when I talked to them about the program. But now it's a lot more widespread and a little bit easier sell for us.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about HealthCues. What is it that you guys are actually doing?
Oh, look, we spend 4 trillion as a nation in the U.S. on healthcare. 72% of that's preventable. So what we're trying to do is get these preventable measures out to employees in an easy solution for them and their whole household. So all the teleservices, DNA screening, biometric screening, all kinds of different preventative healthcare, we're trying to get to them and trying to educate them every month on what they have access to and why they should be using it.
Fantastic. And you're focusing specifically right now, anyways, on the blue collar market.
Yes.
Why that segment?
Really, blue collar, that market needs these programs more. A lot of them aren't going to have the budget to pay for these preventative health care. A lot of the blue collar don't understand preventative health care in the first place. Look, a lot of people don't understand preventative health care in the first place, but they're the people that really need these preventative health care measures more.
And something that is really stands out from the conversation that you and I had the other day as well is that you mentioned engagement rates of 35%, right? Versus maybe the industry standard of around 9 to 10%. What's made that possible?
Well, we're always looking to see what is engaging employees. How can we get them interested to get into our app, to go to different parts of the app and find out what is DNA screening, what is biometric screening. So on a monthly basis, we're sending out do you know campaigns. Do you know you have access to this program? Next month, it'll be something else. So we're always trying to get people, and we're always evaluating the programs we have. Are people using them? Are they engaging people, putting new programs in, taking programs that aren't as engaging out?
So, what do you think has you in that position? I mean, you obviously offer a great product. You're connecting with people who need it. You're providing a ton of value. But I think even many other companies in situations where they're providing something of value, they're achieving lower engagement rates or, lower activity from the people they're actually working with or helping. What do you think really is that, or what do you think the reason is that you really stand out and can achieve these engagement rates?
Well, I think it's because we really, first and foremost, this does save the employer payroll taxes. It does increase the take home pay for employees. That was kind of the tricky way to get employees to be part of the program for employers to want to push the program. But first and foremost, if we're trying to be preventative about healthcare, we have to be able to engage people. So we put 80% of our effort is really put towards engagement and how will we get more people. There's a lot of people that tell us, oh, we can get you 80, 90% engagement. And I don't believe that's possible. I mean, if we got to 40, 45, I'd be extremely happy.
Yeah, I'd say that'd be pretty good, especially from the industry standard of 9
Yeah.
to 10%. Do you think there's anything that, other companies might be doing wrong or just really missing out on when it comes to providing what they need to increase engagement rates, such as HealthCues?
I don't know if the other companies care as much as we do or really are trying to be. It's a great program. And I think a lot of people, it's like throwing spaghetti against a wall. You hope it sticks. And we're more like we're pushing to get even the managers. We do manager training, we do employee training. So we're constantly out there trying to make sure they understand. We go back to the managers. We have a hospital indemnity plan. We ask, look, no one's turned someone's had to go to the hospital, someone's had to go to our ambulance. So we pay if 100% of the preventive healthcare services are used or zero. So for us, we pay regardless. So we want to make sure people have access to what we're paying for and giving to them.
That's incredible. I mean, you're providing an incredible service. Right? You have a great model. You're helping a lot of people. It's shown through the engagement rates. I'm kind of curious, Doug, what came before health cues for you that you can start implementing things like this into a business from perhaps previous experience?
Well, I've been in the trading world, so I traded for myself. Started a broker dealer, bought mortgages, loans from banks and hedge funds, and I feel like this really is something where we make money, but you're giving back and you're doing something good for everyone. Where when you trade, someone wins, someone loses for the most part. So I kind of wanted to see what could we do. Major medical is a disaster, and 8 years ago when I started this, the whole idea was how can we make that better. I'm not sure how we can make it better, but I know we can make people more preventive on their health care. So that's kind of what got me really excited about this program and this type of offering to employees.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, so you came from a position where you were doing well, right? You were making good decisions, but it was kind of like a win-lose scenario. Maybe it didn't sit
Yes.
right with you. You came into health cues. You found an opportunity to really provide people with value and obviously, do well for the company at the same time. But the beginning period was pretty challenging, right? It was too good to be true for many people. And I remember you saying there was a period of about 18 months initially where you couldn't get a client. What kept you persistent when others might have just given up?
Well, a lot of people did give up. Look, I know it's a great program. I knew it was going to take a while. I didn't think it'd take as long as it did, obviously. And we also we kind of started HealthCues at the beginning of COVID. So that also didn't help because companies didn't know what they were going to be doing, if their doors were going to be open. So a lot of the QSR, who we do a great job with, weren't sure if they were going to be open in 6 months. I talked to some of the owners and they're like, well, we're either going to be doing really well or we're going to be doing really bad. So you add that to 18 months to put the whole program together. It wasn't quite put together yet when I first saw this. So we had to go get carriers. It took us 18 months to get this approved by the Department of Insurance and make it a valid program to sell.
Hmm. So in that initial period, right, when you're going through all of this, what did you actually do to help the people you're having conversations with maybe get past that this is too good to be true mindset? Did you have to like hold back on some of what you were actually able to provide to make it seem a little bit more realistic or approachable, or did you just learn how to communicate these things with people in a different way?
It was really the communication piece, doing a better job of communicating. Because when I saw to me, it was a no-brainer. The employer wins, the employee wins. Everyone's rowing the boat in the same direction. I thought it was going to be a no-brainer, like I said, but it really wasn't. You had to do a better job of explaining it. You also had to explain like why it's not too good to be true, and why the government really does like this program when they're collecting fewer tax dollars.
What were some people saying? Like, too good to be true is, of course, a generalization, but like, what were those, I suppose, objections people were really giving you?
A lot of the objections really center around my employee's not going to participate. They're not going to want to be part of the program. Uh, my employee won't understand the paycheck. This is going to take too much time. I don't understand the paycheck myself. So it was just really it was showing them how we're going to educate the employees. And it was really just finding those first clients so we could use them for a case study. Our clients do testimonials for us all the time. So it just took time convincing, and it was a numbers game at first.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. As I understand it, there's a pretty large gap in the employee benefits space, right? With employers and employees both not really getting what is best for them, maybe overpaying for it and not even understanding it, right? Would you say that's kind of the current state of the market and maybe one of the reasons why people just didn't believe or didn't see how health cues would actually be a better option for them?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't think most people that have major medical even understand major medical, and that's been around for such a long time. And a lot of the employers were also thinking, well, my employees have major medical. What do they need this for? And it's really whether you want to talk wellness or preventive healthcare, it's got that low engagement rate. I mean, that's industry standard. It's been here for 15, 20 years. So a lot of the employers just felt like, how are you going to do any better than what the industry standards have been? And, we had to show them.
Yeah, breaking that status quo, I'm sure, has been a challenge, but obviously it's going quite well now.
It is.
Now, you've got a great product. You had some initial skepticism. There was a period of disbelief with what you were actually able to provide to people. You found some great partners. You've built some great relationships. You have some great case studies. As I understand it, you've been growing pretty quickly. You've received a couple of awards recently, even.
Right. Yeah, we definitely have. We've doubled about every year since we started. And, that's really why we're looking to, a little bit ahead of this, but really try to figure out how do we scale this and get this program out quicker, faster to more people.
What's your vision for scaling then? What does that look like?
It's really joining up with a strategic partner in the business or a private equity group where we can really scale this, get 2, 3 different payroll systems going for us, and really partnering with bigger companies like payroll companies to get this out a lot quicker, PEOs and so forth.
Okay, so there's a couple different ways that you're going to be approaching
Yes.
scaling. Of course, looking for partnerships, looking for more or better strategic partnerships, we could say. But also, as I understand it, you have both an in-house sales team and broker partners as well. What do you think is going to be your main focus in the coming 12 to 24 months in terms of scaling? You're going to try and tackle all three at the same time?
Well, definitely strategic partner in we're pretty close to finishing that up in probably the next 3 weeks. We've been working on that for about 6 months, so we're almost there with that. And it's more to bring an in-house team in. Right now, it's we take clients as they call us or they come in, and really putting together a strategic plan of who we want to go out to as clients and pick on clients, join some associations, different trade shows where we can get in front of 50, 100 owners instead of one owner at a time. And that's going to have to be done in-house. So we have 4 in-house salespeople now. So hopefully we'll probably double that by the end of the year and be a little more strategic on how we're marketing the program and who we're marketing to.
Okay, fantastic. So, with a focus on doubling your in-house team, what are some of the challenges you feel that you're up against or the ones you're focusing on solving now? Because of course, if you're growing the team, doubling it, right, you want to attract A players, but it can be hard to find A players, right?
It's very hard to find A players, and when you do find the A players, they learn your program. Then they don't want to be an in-house salesperson anymore. They want to go sell for themselves, and I understand that. So that's been our hardest thing. We brought our best salesperson right now was in-house at the beginning, and it took about 12 months, and he no longer wanted to be in-house salesperson because he was doing so well himself. For our first 2 people, that's what happened. So we got to come up with a better plan on how we keep them in-house and at the
Mm.
same time make it worthwhile for them.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine that could be pretty challenging, right? If people feel that, you've given them so much and helped them so much that they kind of want to go do it on their own. It's an unfortunate situation to be in, but of course they're doing so well. They're still benefiting the company at the end of the day with what they're doing. What do you think it is that you might be able to do to really keep people in house? Like, what does that look like? Is it bringing them bigger opportunities? I mean, what do you think would solve that?
It really is the way we're going to market to this. It's going to be hard for them to go to the companies we're going to be able to go to. So they're going to get a lot more lives under their belt by staying in house with us than if they went on their own. Even if they make more money on their own, I think the sheer quantity of lives we can give to them are going to far exceed what they could do on their own.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, like working within any organization, there's that opportunity for synergy, right? Rather than needing to handle or manage everything on their own. So I definitely see the benefit to staying within. I'm sure that's something that you'll be solving pretty quickly as
Right.
well. So there's something that you mentioned there as well in terms of wanting to start focusing on maybe targeting the right people. You have a lot of inbound leads. You're speaking with a lot of people. You're not going to say no to any opportunities coming your way. but part of your plan for growth is finding the right people to work with. Who do you think it is that you can impact or benefit the most in the blue collar world?
Really, like QSR space, franchising space, we do really well there. Assisted living, any type of the assisted living, we do really well. Fine dining, we do really well. A lot of this is going to go into AI as well, that we talk a little bit later. But I just think those three niches and hospitality were also, those are probably our top four that we really want to go out and do targeted marketing at.
Cool. Is there anything specific about those industries that are attracting you? Is it just there's a great opportunity in them? You feel like these verticals really need what you provide more than others, or is it just the best opportunity that you can find product market fit?
It is a good opportunity for us, but I do feel that those people benefit more in those industries from our programs than a lot of the other industries out there. We'd love to get into manufacturing, car dealerships, but it just takes a while to build the niche. So there are other ones that we would like to go, but we need to focus on what we do really well, and we do really well in those four niches.
Absolutely. And I mean, with the case studies that I'm sure you're getting, that'll make it a lot easier to break into other markets
Right.
with additionally. So AI is something that you just mentioned. I'd love to chat about it a little bit as well. I mean, you've started to implement it a little bit into your healthcare app for user experience, right? Can you talk a little bit more about what you guys are doing?
Yeah, so we brought AI into our preventive healthcare app where it makes it a lot easier to navigate through the app. So if I log on, I fall, I hurt my arm, I could go onto the app and it's going to say, Doug, what can I help you with? And I'll say I fall, I hurt my arm, and it's going to say there's an urgent care at 49 Oak Street, 2 miles away, or do you want us to call telemedicine for you to get a telemedicine appointment? And so in other words, I don't have to really think a lot when I get onto the app. I don't know, how do I get to telemedicine? I can say, pull up my pharmacy card, pull up my minimum essential coverage card. And it just makes it so much easier because I think a lot of people, me included, when I log on to an app, and if I get lost within 3 minutes, I'm probably not going back to that app for a while. So we have brought the AI in to make it very simple, and it's really worked. A lot of people have said with the AI, they love the app. It's made it so much easier, makes it easier for them to get their family members up and running on the app as well.
Did you have any concerns going into that initially, or were there any hiccups when you started to put this into your system?
There weren't any hiccups. Yes, there was concern from our marketing. Mike Abel was very concerned about this. He's like, well, what if they send them to the wrong place? What if it tells them to do something they shouldn't do and it comes back on us, which isn't the worst thing. We just don't want to make sure they're doing something they shouldn't be doing. So there were definitely concerns. And there's concerns, how far do we want to go with that, with the AI pointing people in certain directions? So I think there's a fine line.
Now, those concerns that you had, it seems like maybe, they haven't come to realization, or those situations haven't happened yet or too often. I mean, I think a lot of other industry professionals have, reasonable concerns about the same things. How is it that maybe you overcame, or, helped your team to overcome these concerns in a realistic way and an approachable way?
Well, our team, we were the first ones to get on the app and try it. And, you can't make someone use telemedicine. You can't make someone go to the hospital, but we tried to get everyone, like, try everything on the app. Let's see how it works. Ask whatever question you think you could ask. And in fact, ask a question where you think it could take you somewhere it shouldn't take you. So we did a lot of testing internally before we released it. We really have not had any issues at all with the AI. So none of our concerns at this point have come to fruition, which we're very happy about. And that's really why we're willing to keep pushing and pushing on this to see how far can we go.
That's fantastic. Beyond, the customer service applications and what you mentioned with what you have in your app right now, what other potential AI use cases do you think are going to be most impactful for you?
I'd say if we can figure out the target marketing, how can we use AI to get the marketing? A lot of people have come to us with AI for sales that, you know, give us your parameters of what you want and we can go out and get, warm leads for you. That's probably one place that hasn't come to fruition yet, but I think there are ways to use the AI to be able to hit our target markets for marketing. I think that's where it's really going to help us a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone can solve that lead generation and the marketing issue with AI, like, well, not issue, but anyone can solve that. Any business can grow, right? All you need is
Oh yeah.
more
Oh, David,
customers, more
you
sales.
you, you wouldn't be shocked, but it's like I get emails from my employees. I'm like, this went through ChatGPT or AI, didn't it? Because this isn't you talking. Because this, not they're all great, but I'm like, this isn't you talking. And anytime I've sent one that I've read, they come right back to me like, Doug, that wasn't you talking. Of you're right. So we already use it for a lot of our outbound emails that go out and everything. So we're really looking to kind of turn it up on the AI in all aspects.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think would be the next first steps for you if, like using AI to really target who it is that you want to be connecting with better, maybe draw them in or reach out to them? What would you say the next step is for you from where you're at right now? Whether it's in terms of marketing, whether it's in terms of, customer service.
I think it's really for us, the number one thing is okay, we have our list of the 10 QSR spaces we want to get into. And I'm not talking just like, I'm not talking just McDonald's, but who are the bigger owners in the QSR space? And how can we use AI to get into the right person at that establishment? And that's where I think it's really going to help us because these people just don't pick the phone up or return emails to cold calls to people they don't know. So really for me it's trying to figure out how can that help us get that person to set a meeting up with us, set an appointment up with us. That's the next step for us.
Okay, fantastic. Now, if we were to kind of tie a couple of these things together, I mean, there's a little bit of a debate, it seems, as well right now about, AI efficiency or even efficacy versus the human touch, right? Whether it's communicating, as you said, with some of your team, you're sending an email from chat, they say, "Hey, this wasn't you," right? What do you have any sort of concerns or take on the actual, again, efficiency or even efficacy when it comes to using AI for communicating with potential clients or current clients?
Yes, I do have concerns on that and how we go about doing it. I think explaining the benefits could easily be done by AI. Getting you to the right person to answer the right question can be done with AI, but I still think there's a lot to be said hand holding with your clients and helping them out. So that's that's really one of the biggest concerns of our marketing manager, Mike Abel, where he's just like, how far do you really want to take this? There has to be human intervention at some point. If I was selling a term life policy or something like that, I would want to talk to AI all day long because what's the best deal? What's a company rated? I think there's a lot of things that could be used for to take out the human interaction. But I think when someone really is trying to get a question answered, I don't think AI is always going to be able to handle that today.
Hmm. Certainly, yeah. Just not yet, anyways. We'll see where it
Yeah.
goes. Okay, so you guys are using AI quite a bit, or you're starting to use AI quite a bit, and there's obviously some incredible areas that it can impact a business. Any business within insurance, or anywhere across the board. In terms of the insurance industry and policyholders or consumers, how do you think AI is going to benefit them?
Oh, I think it's really going to benefit them because it's much easier for them. They can go look for what they want. They can go look for their own car insurance. They could go find, all right, who are the 10 best credible car insurance companies? What are their rates? They're able to go on, put their information in, and get quotes back right away and know that, look, that's what AI is going to take away. AI is going to take that away probably in the real estate market when it comes to the real estate agent. It's definitely going to attorneys. Unless you're going to court, AI is probably going to take over for attorneys down the road. So, the insurance brokers, unless you're going to be selling a niche product or a high net worth product when it comes to insurance, I think the AI is probably going to be able to sell as well.
What do you think it is in the niche side or the high net worth side of things that people wouldn't want to engage with an AI?
Well, I think it's understanding there's a lot of moving parts. Like for our program, there's a lot of moving parts. High net worth, you have to look at a lot of different things. What are we going to put this into a trust? Who needs to sign off on it? How is this going to work for cash value? So there's a lot of different things I think that need to be taken into thought. And I'm not sure today AI can do that. I said think. I didn't say it can't.
Yeah.
So I just think, and I think those types of products, the people need their hands held a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all good points, definitely. So, Doug, you're using AI quite a bit, right? You're doing extremely well within HealthCues. Like you're a growing business, right? A lot of people are looking at AI as well, being skeptical about it, right? Maybe they also have a growing business and it's doing well and they're saying, hey, we're already doing well. We don't need to use it yet. We can wait on it. Then we have the other side of things where people just don't want to use it, whether they have an aversion to it because they feel it's not human enough, it's losing the personal connection, any number of reasons. What sort of insight or advice or perspective might you share with somebody who is a little bit more reserved or hesitant or opposed to AI?
AI is coming. You're going to be left in the dust if you don't take it into consideration. I think for any business, really. When I first started hearing about AI, I was a little reserved. I'm like, how is this going to help our business? And the first AI I was approached with was always sales. We can get you more leads. We can do this. We can do that. We don't really need a lot more leads right now. So I was just like, okay, well, how is it going to help me beyond that? Then the next thing obviously was, well, the our app. So we brought the AI to the app. But I think every business owner, everyone that wants to stay in business needs to really address AI. And I think in the near future, everyone's going to have an AI expert on staff. So better get started today.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Doug, thank you so much for sharing your insights and your perspectives with the audience today. For any of our listeners who might want to connect with you to learn more about what you're doing or maybe to even work with you, what would be the best way to reach out?
Email. It's D period Frederick, Frederick, at HealthCues.
Excellent. Doug, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thanks, David. It was a pleasure.
To the listeners, thank you for tuning into the podcast. As always, I hope this episode has brought you valuable insight, knowledge, and inspiration. If it did, please would you show your support by dropping us a like on this video and subscribing to the channel. Until next time, we're signing off. And that's a wrap on another episode of The Growth Shift. If this conversation sparked something for you, whether it's a new perspective on failure, a strategy you want to try, or just the reminder that every setback can become a setup for something bigger, hit that subscribe button and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Remember, the leaders who thrive aren't the ones who avoid change. They're the ones who shift strategically through it. If you're ready to build the systems that help you grow without the chaos, head over to valentix.com